All right, welcome back to the Organized Preneur podcast, the show that helps you to get organized, get heard, and get leads. I'm your host, Aldreama Harper, podcast launch strategist and systems coach. If you've been searching for a way to streamline your business, grow your influence, and monetize your confidence, then you're in the right place. Now, today's episode might even surprise you. I'm super excited about it because we're going to go way back to the year 1719. What? Believe it or not, 1719, a shipwrecked man on a deserted island gives us the perfect playbook for female entrepreneurs today. Ready? Let's go. Every episode, knowledge taking flight, getting organized, keep the hustle tight. All dreamers got the wisdom, breaking it down, clarity and chaos. So here's the story. Daniel Defoe's novel, Robinson Crusoe, tells us about a man stranded on an island for 28 years. And instead of him losing himself in worry, he did something brilliant. He created what he called a balance sheet of comfort and miseries. Now, we're not talking about a spreadsheet, just a balance sheet. Okay, so it wasn't anything fancy, but just a fancy way of saving or saying he got honest about his situation. He stopped panicking and started building systems. And that's the first takeaway for us as entrepreneurs. When life or business gets chaotic, the best thing to do is to organize what you know instead of drowning in what ifs. As a matter of fact, that is a biblical principle, or perhaps a biblical concept that I have taught on before from 2 Kings chapter 4, verses 1 through 7. And it's the story of the widow. Now, I'm not going to get into that story, but basically, she listened to the prophet. She went to the prophet because she was in debt. Her husband had passed away, and they're about to come and take her children. Okay. And she went to the prophet and asked, what shall she do? What can I do? And the first thing he asked her was, what do you have? So I will actually link that episode where I share more on that story, and you can listen to that. But for now, let's just get back into this story where we're talking about when life and business gets chaotic, the best thing you can do is to organize what you know instead of drowning in what ifs. And so here's where it gets so very exciting. Because the data shows female entrepreneurs naturally embody this Crusoe mindset. In fact, research shows that when things get tough economically, women are 32% more likely to pivot and adjust their businesses or their business models more than men do. Now, I myself being a female, I can tell you, I will pivot. I have pivoted a few times. And so and what that means is that we don't just weather the storm. We actually turn those storms into opportunity. We're not out here fighting the island. We're learning to dance with it. And think about it. Most of us started our businesses the same way Robinson Crusoe started his island life. And that's with practically nothing. Here's a little info for you, a little stat for you. Did you know that 58% of female entrepreneurs use personal savings to get started? Like we bootstrap, we hustle, we create systems and whatever resources we have. And if that sounds familiar, that's like pure Robinson Crusoe energy. Now, let's connect the dots because we're not in 1719. We're in 2025 as the time of this recording. And I would venture to say if Crusoe had the internet, I believe he would have launched a podcast called Island Life Systems. Why? Because podcasting is the modern day version of his survival playbook. Think about it. Every episode that you publish is like a Crusoe planting crops or building shelter. It's part of a system that compounds over time. And here's the key: launch with intention, set up strategically. I've talked about this. Host with consistency, meaning show up even when you don't feel like it. And then grow with purpose. Turn your episodes into authority, leads, and income streams. That's the launch, host, and grow method in action, baby. It's how you transform a simple podcast into a powerful business growth system. And one of the most beautiful parts of Crusoe's story is that his survival wasn't just about staying alive. He held on to hope and purpose. And this resonates deeply for us as women in business because let's be honest, there'll be some seasons when clients just dry up. Launches will flop and the market will shift on you. But when your business is rooted in something deeper than a profit, when it's rooted in purpose, when it's rooted in faith, and when it's rooted in calling, you don't just survive, baby, you thrive. Your why is what keeps you grounded. Your systems is what keeps you moving. And that combination makes you unstoppable. So, how do we apply this practically? I want to give you 3 lessons from Robinson Crusoe's island that you can implement in your business today. Here we go. I hope you're ready. Number 1, master your emotions. That's something that's challenging for most of us as female entrepreneurs. But before making major decisions, you want to pause and make your own balance sheet. I like to say this from the scriptures. There's a verse that says, count the cost. Write down what's working, what's not working, and what you can control. This will save you from reactive decisions. So master your emotions. Number 2, organize what you already have. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Start with what's in your hands. That's what the scripture tells you. That's a principle. Your skills, your network, your knowledge, your wisdom, your experience, and build systems with what's already in your toolkit. And then number 3, show up consistently. Robinson Crusoe did not survive with one heroic act. He survived with small, disciplined steps repeated daily. And so the same is true for your podcast and your business. Consistency compounds. So I hope this is making sense, but here's the truth. You already have the resilience. The data proves it. Now it's about channeling that strength into systems and strategy that positions you for long-term success. Just like Robinson Crusoe, who turned isolation into innovation, you can turn your challenges into competitive advantages. The blueprint is already here. You just need to follow it. And so if today's episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with fellow entrepreneurs who need a little dose of Crusoe-inspired encouragement. And if you're ready to turn your podcast into a client-generating system, then you need to head on over to the link that's provided in the show notes. And check out the resources that's waiting for you. Yeah. So until next time, I want you to remember, get organized, get heard, and get leads. You've been listening to the Organized Preneur podcast with Aldreama Harper, helping you simplify systems, amplify your voice, and monetize your message. You have an amazing day. Where the dreams take flight, entrepreneurial spirit out of sight, out of mind. Every episode, knowledge taking flight, getting organized, keep it hustle tight.